I got dumped.
Okay, we're live.
Used to say we were live. It showed me somewhere, but I haven't seen that yet. But
Okay, we're ready. They said you're live. Okay. This is the
All right.
pre-meeting of the Mobile.
Go ahead, ma'am, City Clerk. I'm sorry.
This is the pre-meeting of the Mobile City Council, Tuesday, August 18th. We have a request for waiver of the noise ordinance on September 25th and 26th from 7 p.m. until 2 a.m.
yes,
on
yes,
LeSure Road.
out in the middle of the country. Yes, ma'am. We're good.
Okay. Public hearings. We have public hearings to fix the cost of demolition of structures at 1156 Tinkerpin Street, 1360 St. Meter Street, 508 Hawcom Avenue, 664 Johnston Street, 458 Plum Street, 2708 Ralston Road, 1723 Bolden Street. Declaring structures public nuisances at 1723 Bolden Street, 2410 Hart Avenue, 2831 Bear Fork Road, and 477 McCarley Street.
Rock and roll.
Any issues?
Okay.
Absent any, we can keep going.
Okay. Essential COVID-19 items held Dover 08593, approved purchase order to Environmental Systems Research Institute for renewal of ARC GIS software and licenses. 21594, authorized contract with Eric Sweetser, doing business as VES specialist for emergency roll-up door replacement at various city fire stations. 21595, authorized contract with Emerson Roofing for public works complex equipment maintenance, building roof repairs. 21596, authorized contract with Gale LLC for Mobile Fire Rescue Department uniforms. 21597, authorized contract with Secord Enterprises for right-of-way mowing at Knollwood Drive.
Madam Clerk.
Yes.
Okay, first thing is we've got someone on the line that's scraping around. That person, whoever that is, needs to mute.
Okay.
But I'm just saying that out loud so that the person can themselves. The second thing is, my recollection is that when we get to these essential COVID-19 items held over, we have to have a motion to declare them essential COVID-19 items. And that has to pass, and then we take them up. Isn't that correct?
Absolutely.
You can do that when you adopt the agenda.
When we adopt the agenda. He can't hear.
I like that. We did hear Chris. We heard Chris.
Oh, you heard him. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm going to mute everyone, and then when you get ready to speak, you'll need to unmute yourself because I don't know who that is with the sound yet. There. Okay. Okay. Essential COVID-19 item 01598, authorized agreement with Spire Gulf for relocation of utility facilities on public right-of-way during the roundabout installation at the intersection of Broad Street and Canal Street. 08599, approved purchase order to Gulf Marine Construction for boat lift. That's $30,723.
Madam City Clerk,
Yes, sir.
on the item before that 01598, I want to be listed as sponsor on that.
Okay.
So these items that we're going through right now, we would be declaring them essential COVID-19 items, but we're not voting on them today. right?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, 08600, approved purchase order to truck equipment sales for aerial life truck, $203,585.
Madam Clerk,
Lift truck.
yeah, that's a lift.
08601, approved purchase order to Gulf Coast Fitness Service for fitness equipment for the Parkway Senior Center, $47,186.45. 08602.
Hold 1 second, Madam City Clerk. Miss
Mhm.
Vice President.
Yeah, this particular item here, Ms. Barbara Drummond, Representative Barbara Drummond, had got a grant from the state to purchase fitness equipment. So once we buy the fitness equipment, the state gonna reimburse us that $47,000 back and everything. So I'd like to thank Representative Barbara Drummond for finding this grant for us.
08602, approved purchase order to Train US Inc. for 4 variable frequency drives for the West Mobile Regional Library, $24,403. 09603, authorized budget transfer from the general fund to capital project for installing emergency backup generators at the public works facilities at Hertel Street and Gale Street.
Okay, do we have a cost on that?
$158,000.
Okay.
It's interesting. I wonder why that, is the administration here explain to us why they did that?
That's this is Jim DeLapp. These generators were not planned. We did not anticipate these generators going out, so they were not originally put into the capital project requests for the 2020 budget. During this past year, we discovered that they were non-functional, and so we had to, obviously, we want to get those replaced as quickly as possible. One of them has actually been removed from the facility already in preparation for the work of installation of new ones. We obviously don't want to go into the hurricane season or continue into the hurricane season with these generators not in place.
I guess my point was, I mean, it seems like we have enough capital money created by the extra penny. That really not every dollar is committed. And why did we choose to go with a general fund transfer as opposed to just using capital funds that were certainly available?
Mr. Williams, this is Paul. This, of course, is 2020, and capital actually is committed. So this is an amount that was not addressed in the capital budget.
Okay. All right.
Well, I'll say that we have at least one council member that was opposed to transferring funds. So I didn't hear nothing.
No, we're opposed to transferring funds, Fred, when it goes from capital to the general fund, taking monies that are available for fixing things and paying salaries instead of the other way around. And this, the more we take from general to capital, the better we're going to fix our city. And that's health. And that means that we don't not paying salaries while we're doing without street lights and pavement.
Yes, sir.
I hardly concur with Councilman Williams.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Roger. Sorry, Lamont. Rock and roll.
09604, appropriate $1,400,000 in the Rebuild Alabama Special Revenue Fund for the Tiger Dr. MLK Jr. Avenue Broad Street project.
I have no opposition to that. Next year, I would like to have those funds allocated to St. Stephen Road Rehabilitation Project.
Yeah.
For
I
next
have a
year.
question. I have a
Court.
question.
Ms. Rich?
Thank you. What exactly is that fund? I thought the Broad Street was under a Tiger grant. So what exactly is this? I've never heard of Rebuild Alabama.
Miss Rich, this is Rebecca Christian with accounting. The Rebuild Alabama Special Revenue Fund is a result of the State Legislators Act 2019-2, which is the new 10-cent gas tax. It's a phased-in tax on gas and diesel. It also has a additional license tax component to it. Effective fall of last year, a 6-cent portion of that tax went into effect. And there's a number of reporting requirements that are unique to this particular gas tax. One of which is that the city must adopt what it calls an annual transportation plan by August 31st of each year to anticipate the upcoming 12 months worth of expenditures out of this fund. The act specifies that there must be a separate special revenue fund set up for the receipt and use of these funds. So that's why we have that listed separately as the Rebuild Alabama Special Revenue Fund. The $1.4 million is the anticipated receipts in that gas tax through September 30th of 2021. So we have a little more than 12 months because we have a few months that we've already received this year that had not yet been appropriated. An additional 2 cents tax will go into effect October 1st of this year and then of next year too. So this will be an annual process for this particular tax. There will also be a January reporting requirement for accounting and engineering to present to the council a list of all of the activities that have taken place under this fund during the prior 12 months. So you'll see this come up a couple of times a year now.
So we voted for the transfer, for this transportation
This
component.
is what you're doing. This is what you're doing now. It's a part of approving the use of these funds for the purpose of a particular project or projects that the city determines. And our
Ms. Rich?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Ms. Rich, this is Paul. Let me answer your question. The reason this is coming to you the way it is in trying to build a consensus in the legislature to pass this tax, the legislature was conscious of many jurisdictions, mostly in rural areas, that received distributions of gas tax from prior legislation and did not use it for transportation, did not use it for road building. So this is a state collection and a distribution back to the locality. So, we did not vote for this tax.
No, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that part.
I'm sorry?
No, I didn't mean that we voted for the tax. We vote for the plan that she mentioned. So that's why it's able to go into the Tiger, merge in with Tiger grant funds.
That's right. That's what this this resolution is an adoption of the plan.
And this will take care of everything that came in to date, the 1.4 million.
It's 1.4. That includes approximately $635,000 in receipts to date, plus an additional $822,000 to be received through 9/30 of next year.
So we're basically voting on that plan that the state mandated as part of how you can receipt for these taxes.
Correct. You
Okay.
as the council have to adopt through a majority vote the intended use of the funds. That's what we're doing.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Paul,
Yes, sir.
I want to note it as of today that I would like to see those funds next time be allocated to St. Stephen Road. It is just ridiculous that we have a U.S. highway running through our city in the condition that St. Stephen Road is. We don't have any curb, gutters, sidewalks. It's just people can park anywhere they want to. It's a U.S. highway. No other U.S. highway in the city is in this kind of condition. And I would like to see the funds next time allocated to St. Stephen Road. And let me just say, in the last 10 years, we have had probably close to $1 billion allocated west of Mobile through the MPO, that we haven't gotten one dime of those funds. But we do qualify over on for these funds here, for the Rebuild Alabama Special Revenue Funds. And I'm asking now to please put St. Stephen Road down from Ann Street to Pritchard Avenue, that section of St. Stephen Road. And because we have made that a focus, the citizens have made a great outcry regarding us doing something about St. Stephen Road. And I would like to see these funds used in that manner.
That's nice. Here we go.
Fred, if I can comment, if you'll go to the MPO, I think you'll see that is being incorporated into their master plan, what you're talking about. Funds will come in from ALDOT.
But there's no money.
No, okay.
I beg for them to put it in the master plan, but they said it'll be 2030 before they could come up with any money for that.
Yep. All right.
I doubt if I even be on the face of the earth in 2030.
I think you can ask Gina how long it took for Ziegler.
But it didn't take I'm saying the Tagger grant, the Broad Street project is not that old. This can happen next year. We're going to get more funds next year. So I'm just advocating for next year.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I agree with you. Madam City Clerk, any other discussion? Madam City Clerk.
Okay. 21605, authorized contract with Midwestern Commercial Roofers for Hertel Street Armory re-roofing, $237,720. 21606, authorized contract with Michael Baker International for CE&I Engineering Services, 2019 CIP Bridge Maintenance and Repairs, $35,000. 21607, authorized contract with Harris Contracting Services for Rickaby Park grading and drainage improvements, $56,000. 4608 through 4617 are the nuisance abatements. 37618, recommend approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a restaurant retail liquor license for El Milagro on O'Shell Road.
It's fine.
A presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. We have one person signed for a non-agenda item, and that is Reggie Hill. And he wants to address items on our agenda, 21596, 21597, 01598, 08599, 08600, 08601, 21607, and ordinance is held over, 57016.
I remind everyone that we'll have a meeting this afternoon. I sent out some information about rules of the council, and I'd like to see us address not only the rules of folks addressing us based on what we've seen from around the nation, emails from me and Chris, but also we ought to consider how we handle the timing and speaking of council members and staff members so that the meetings run smoothly all the time and more predictable. And I think that both addressing both of those will do that. So if you'll come kind of ready, and we'll throw some things out today and see what sticks, and then we'll develop it a little bit more and proceed to another short meeting that hopefully can finalize some changes to who and how long that people address us or speak at our meetings, not address us.
I also have, I did receive two requests, well, three requests for agenda items. And this is regarding the closing vacation of streets, proposed ordinance to do that. And that is Alberto, Ariel Chavez, and Michelle Adams, and Laura Clark, right? Laura Clark. Ordinance is held over. 57016, ordinance to establish procedures and policies for the vacation or closure of any street, alley, or dedicated public right-of-way.
Hey, Madam Clerk, I don't think we took up 27024 or 27025.
That's where I'm going. That was the next one.
That's the next.
On my copy of the agenda, they're before 57016. In any event, if we want to take up 57016, this needs to be tabled. This particular one needs to be tabled. And I think we probably need another meeting of the committee in order to review the draft, the vacations, and the draft on the closures that the council's attorney has prepared.
I agree. We need to table this.
Right.
I agree. Thank you.
27024, ordinance to regulate food trucks, and 34025, ordinance to amend chapter 34 of the city code regarding short-term lodging or rentals.
On 27024.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Gina. On
No, go ahead.
27024, we're having a finance committee meeting on that on September 15th. So I would suggest we hold that over for 6 weeks, whatever that is.
22nd. The week after the committee meeting will be the 22nd, right?
Yeah, 22nd.
An agreement.
On the food truck one, on the food truck one?
On the food, yeah.
And when is that committee meeting?
September 15th.
Thank you.
What time?
I think it's at 2, Fred. Let me check.
Okay. I'll put it on here.
September 15th at 2 o'clock.
And that's through which committee? Is that the finance committee?
The president assigned it to the finance committee
Okay.
in his infinite wisdom.
Oh yeah, it's already on the book.
Infinite wisdom. That's why it's at you. What about bed and breakfast folks?
That's the one I was getting ready to talk about. We're going to try to schedule a committee meeting on that, maybe Thursday. Bess and Fred are on that committee.
I had problems with Thursday. I thought that was clear. I have planning commission and I have planning commission at 2. And then also in the morning, I'm tied up. So Thursday, okay. I'm sorry if that wasn't clear.
Yeah. Fred, can you do Wednesday?
Let me see.
For me, it would need to be Wednesday afternoon or even Friday afternoon.
Okay. Friday would be better for me.
Bess, can you do Friday?
Afternoon?
Yeah, afternoon.
I can make that work.
Next week?
No, this week.
Zooming.
Then that way we can just lay it over a week and vote next week maybe.
Right. So what time, Tim?
2, 3.
2.
2 o'clock.
2.
Is that okay, Fred?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
What'd you say, 2 o'clock?
Yeah, 2 o'clock Friday, this Friday. So we'll just lay it over a week.
Which committee is that, Ms. Gregory?
Administrative Services. Yeah, and if you can help us with the Zoom, Lisa, we'll just do it that way. And then Marion, we'll need to put it out.
Are you allowing
People,
public-
yeah, and I know David Clark had mentioned to me that he would like to be involved, so we need to definitely reach out to him.
Do we need someone from Parks and Recreation? Because we talk about their placement up in parks.
No,
Yeah.
there's Airbnb.
Oh, this is the,
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I thought you were
Hey.
talking about the food
Yeah,
trucks.
they can sleep there, no problem.
I was sorry.
no sleeping in the park.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. That was, okay.
Okay. Ordinance is being introduced, 34026. Mr. He's on here. Mr. Manzi has asked that we add this one. Ordinance to amend the capital improvement plan.
So I know I would need 2 other council people to join with me. Is there 2 others that would be willing to help get this on the agenda?
I would join.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. I just need 1 more.
I do it.
Thank you, Mr. Small.
Will we get ooh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, the amendment you want to add in neighborhoods,
Yes.
do you have a definition of what you mean by that revitalization?
Well, what I mean essentially is pretty much going down the same road that I was talking about yesterday, where we can utilize Jamie Roberts and his department to go in specific delineated neighborhoods and do similar to the facade grants that we have downtown, but to help revitalize houses and properties in some of these neglected districts and some of these neglected communities. If you look at today's agenda, I have, if my counting is correct, 5 to 6 houses. 5 to 6 houses that we are slated to demolish. And probably with just a little infusion, these would be properties that families could move into, that developers could buy, and we would not have to ultimately see on our weed lien list. Because we transfer, that's all we're doing essentially. We're going to transfer a broke down derelict house, take it off that list and add it to the list that we'll be responsible for cutting for the next 20 years. And so the long and short is what's communicated in the ordinance. If it needs to have more meat to it, we can certainly work to do that, but that's the crux of what we were trying to do.
But isn't there CBDG money to do those kind of programs that in areas where there's needs, they're already designated as blighted and neglected and therefore socioeconomically depressed? I mean, aren't there programs that could do I hear exactly what you're saying, but the funding, as far as what breaking up the penny into 3 million was to go to capital infrastructure evenly through all districts. And this would not be necessarily an even split. We would be changing some of the trajectory of those funds.
No, ma'am. This is an even split.
It's an even split. I would be dedicating resources from within the confines of my $3 million. So I'm not asking for, pardon me?
You don't have to dedicate any money.
No,
This just makes it possible. I'm more concerned about the legal aspect and how do we limit it from getting into 3 or 4 people's hands that are
developers.
Yeah, developers that are just running around, doing the normal. But that's each council.
The city had a great program with the Detente Square. when they sold properties, but they had all kinds of rules in place that within 18 months, it needed to go back into the inventory. It needed to be owner occupied. And, sometimes they were able to extend it if they weren't able to finish out the project, but it was a very good program.
Well,
So you're saying those are the type of programs that you want to be able to then spend the allocated capital. I see.
Exactly. And according to our attorney, the way that we have the present CIP ordinance constructed, that is not an allowable use. So he's made a very minor tweak to the ordinance, which is what I emailed to everyone, that just generally allows the use. The rules and the procedures and the when and where and who will do this, that, and the other have not been fleshed out. But his first step, what he recommended as the first step was to allow the use, which is what's on the agenda. And yes, the CDBG, that department, those funds are there, but they're not nearly enough. By the time you open up the process, you've inundated with hundreds of applications. And so I'm trying to find a way to supplement that in many respects, but to try to target like a Maysville or a Plateau or a campground so that we can see wholesale uplift in one stretch of the community. While we're doing sidewalks and repaving streets and putting in nice parks. If you look at my background is the new Lafayette Heights Park. Beautiful park. You would expect to see that anywhere in West Mobile. But if you go along Congress Street near in the trajectory of the Greater Mount Olive Baptist Church, you see 3 or 4 shot houses that all need to be either remodeled or torn down. If you keep down St. Stephen's Road, you run right into our buddy, Jeffrey Jones' brother. They got the Volvo graveyard. 3 or 4 big houses, just in terrible shape, look like little hell. And we're putting all these resources in the middle of the neighborhood, resurfacing streets and sidewalks. I just want to supplement and do hopefully big shots in these communities.
Hey, I have a question.
Now, Ms. Gregg? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I like the idea of it. I think I have some neighborhoods where I could make use of that as well. My question is, how does it work? Which programs, which department, that kind of thing. I think just the details of how we could make it work legally, that would be my question. But the idea of it, I like. And yeah, it would come from each of our $3 million, every year. So I like the idea, but before we move too far forward, I would really like to see some of the details to see how it would work in the neighborhoods. What we would do, what kind of programs and that sort of thing.
I totally agree with you. I'm wide open as to how we would construct it. Certainly we'll assign the item to a committee. We'll have that ready for 10:30. And then the committee could be about working to put some meat around the bones. But the first step was fixing it legally so that this is even something that could be considered, which is what's before us today.
I'd like to make a comment, if I may.
Absolutely. Is that the Honorable 108th Mayor of the city?
It would be him.
I'm
Just
with
listening to what you're saying, and if I understand this right, you're talking about taking taxpayer dollars and putting it in private property so that you can fix up their houses.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, yes, sir.
Doing that now.
I think that is something you really need to consider strongly. We have struggled for at least, let's say, 7 years, getting the right access so that we can legally do things on private property, whether it's taking it because of tax liens or whatever. And if the decision is made by the council to do this, I think that you're going to open yourself up to an immeasurable amount of criticism about whose houses you're choosing to fix using somebody else's tax dollars And so just be very thoughtful about it, would be my only comment.
Well, I'm appreciative of your comment, Mr. Mayor. In many respects, this is not a new wheel that we'd be utilizing. From TIF funds downtown, facade grants downtown, CDBG resources, which is ultimately and at the end of the day, our tax resources. We've gone down this road already, and we've gone down the road for a long time. So I certainly appreciate the word of caution, and I'm sure as this is assigned to committee, that we'll go over the legal aspects of it and hopefully come up with a plan that will satisfy any legal issue and hopefully abate any criticism. We're gonna get we get criticized for doing whatever we do. But I do know that this is something that I think would be a great supplement to what we're already doing with our federal resources.
Mr. President,
Mr. Richardson?
if we take a look at the St. Louis Street corridor, the city does not own anything down St. Louis Street. And we have went outside, inside, over and under to get revenues to refurbish St. Louis Street, and we still going on and on with it. Most of that money is not private. It's not private money. There's no private individuals bring the city some money to revitalize St. Louis Street. My point is this: we can help Mr. Big, but whenever we get down to Mr. Little, a red flag goes up. When we get down to Mr. Little, I say we can make this program work. We can work it out, work out all the legal problems. If we can come in and take the land, take the housing from them, we can also help them to fix it up. So I think that would be a way. We'll find a legal way to do it.
Mr. President.
Mr. Davis?
I just, a while back, it's been some time ago now, the council appointed a blue ribbon citizens commission on housing. And I think it would be good to have a report from that commission before we launch any new housing initiatives.
I don't mind that, Joe. We appointed that committee right before this horrendous pandemic and certainly haven't moved forward. I think we even have I forget the lady's name out of Birmingham, but certainly she was an expert as it relates to HUD and their regulations. I don't mind having some engagement from the committee, but that doesn't preclude us from cleaning up and clearing up the language so that this is a possibility. Any further discussion?
I look forward to the future of this, Mr. President.
I appreciate that, Mr. Williams.
I think we all touted last election cycle the huge improvements that we made with capital improvement. And then we also recognized the hundreds of millions of dollars that are still scheduled and those that continue to come on. It is a slippery slope. And I don't know that more money through this program, we made a promise to people when we passed that 1 cent sales tax and took all those millions of dollars that we were going to do capital improvement. And we all said that, 3 years ago. We did what you said what we said we were going to do. We kept our promise. And this is just going a little bit outside that. Now, I'm not just agreeing with it. It's good use of public funds in some way. We do it every day. I agree with you. All those federal funds, state, tax breaks and everything. I agree. Mr. Richardson's information on St. Louis Street is not correct. But similar projects have been done through similar programs. But I hate to, until we've accomplished what we meant to accomplish with capital improvement with the CIP, and we'd have to almost change its name if we go down this and it finds again, I'm not against revitalization. I'm not against, the use of those funds to do it. It's just these public funds. We made a promise. We have not fulfilled that promise yet. That's all.
Well, I don't disagree with you, Mr. Williams. We did make a promise and we made a commitment. I think our overall and overarching goal was to improve the city. I think that was the strongest promise that we made to our citizens. And one way to do that, let me try it another way. I think we can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can fix sidewalks, repair streets, improve community centers and parks while we make these neighborhoods more inhabitable, more attractive, and just lift up the whole neighborhood in a holistic approach. You know, I often hear that people don't come here because of the condition of our neighborhoods. You know, it's not that we don't have nice parks, we don't have nice sidewalks and roads. We're making steady progress on that. But they'll complain that the neighborhoods, look at the housing stock, look at the shape of the various homes, particularly in our inner city communities. So we'll move out west. And because we moved out west, now we got to go and just envelop all of out west in order for the city to grow. And so I think we can accomplish both missions at the same time. And I'm just asking everyone to be open-minded. Let's have the discussion and see where we end up.
Let's just send it to committee and see what happens.
Sounds like a winner. Is that it, Madam City Clerk?
No, we have one more item. Call for public hearing. 41619, call for public hearing to rezone property located on the south side of Tennessee Street, 200 feet east of South Scott Street from R2 to B2, District 3, scheduled September 15th.
Any announcements from members of the council?
Mr. Chairman, I was hoping that we might be able to at least get a little organized for the meeting at 10:30 in a sense of what we're going to vote on.
Yeah.
And just some mechanics so that when we do this, we go through the project that CJ mentioned. I see no reason why, if it has been cleared by city legal, that we don't proceed with the vote. That it's not going to cost the city anything. I assume we have something from Miss Drummond that shows that she's going to reimburse. If that's the case and legal buys off on it, we ought to be able to vote on that. But what are we going to vote on and what we're not going to vote on is not real clear to me right now. Because you know, all those fixed costs are usually they're usually in consent, right?
Yeah.
And so we got some that are generally consent, and then we got the Rebuild Alabama, which I would not assume is. But it sounds to me like the generators need to go. We have buildings without emergency power in the middle of hurricane season, and it's supposed to be an active one. I
don't have a problem with that.
So should we go to the top and really very quickly? All right.
What about Spire?
All the ones held over, y'all say go? Any opposition?
I'll say go.
I don't have a problem with any of them.
Yeah, but then we get to the essential COVID items, the Spire Gulf Marine Contracting, truck equipment. Those are generally things that we have layover for 1 week. But the fitness is the one you're talking about, right, CJ 601?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's a grant that's going to be repaid back to the city.
Yeah, so 601 would go. So 601's a yes. The three prior to it are held over. If they could go in a different category, that'd be awesome. Make it at least look good for us. I don't know. The train, is that the 4 generators? Is that?
No, it's the next one.
That's frequency drives. Train USA.
That's the
Is that is that air conditioning?
Some kind of air conditioner, I think.
Yeah.
We need to take care of that.
Yeah. And it's under 20, it's just $24,000.
Is there a building without it is the issue?
West Mobile Regional Library.
Yeah. It's just the one library.
It's West Regional.
Staff out there?
Yeah.
John, this is Brad. The units are working. The drives are wearing out, so this is just replacement. It could wait a week. We'd love to
Okay.
have it approved this week, but it could wait a week.
Okay.
All right,
All right.
so we got, right now, we have 601 in this category. We got 601 and 603 going. I'm just panning on down. Then to fix the cost, we usually have those in consent.
Right.
So take 608 through 613, declaring structures, those are all along with ABC, so the rest of those would go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the liquor license is fine.
So 98 through 600 and 602, 65, 66, or 605, 606, 607 would stay out, and the rest would go forward in that category.
Sounds good to me.
And I'll be glad to do the waiving if you want me to.
Okay.
CJ, I'll just write some notes while we're in 20-minute recess.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. All right, the rest is good.
Okay, and
All
then the ordinance is held over, 57016, you'll table that one. 27024, you'll lay that one over until, September 22nd. And 34025,
Hopefully to just next week. So just lay it over a week.
okay.
We'll do our Zoom meeting on Friday and maybe get everything worked out so we can vote. And if not, then, we'll lay it over again. Yes.
Okay.
All
Joel,
right.
Joel, when we approve the agenda, you're gonna declare all these essential COVID?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna move the adoption of the agenda and declare all of the items listed on the agenda as essential COVID-19 items, essential COVID-19 items.
Roger, and I'll do the suspension of the rules when we get to COVID. All right. Very
And
well.
I just have one, also clear, it's not necessarily a clarification, but since we have so many, 3 people signed in to address closure, we are still tabling this to go back to committee. That's the consensus.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
this particular, what's on the agenda is not going to committee.
Right.
We're tabling what's on the agenda, and then we're bringing the 2 new drafts to the committee.
Okay. All right. But no committee meeting set at this time. Too early. Okay.
We could,
Well, why don't you give it some time, Fred, to look at that?
we can go with September the 1st,
To when?
September 1st.
September,
First?
that's gonna be a
Will
big day.
be budget.
That's the hearing on the budget.
Budget.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't want the 1st.
Can I
Yeah.
chime
We'll have
in
a
on
lot of
that?
people signed in for that, I imagine.
Chris,
We might.
Okay, what
Chris
about
is
the
asking.
8th? We'll just set that for September the 8th.
wait, Chris had something he wanted to say.
Go on, Chris.
The vacation ordinance, we split it into 2. The vacation part, in my mind, is pretty close to being done. I'm waiting on some, any final comments, from the administration side. The, closing and the other one about the traffic,
Calming,
what's it called, speed bumps and whatnot.
calming. It's
Yeah,
called.
that one's gonna take more time.
Well, but now, I think by the 8th, you'll have that
Huh.
ready before
We
the
were
8th.
waiting on comments from the administration on that one too. It's gonna be more.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well, we may
I put it off
we
for
may
a while.
go ahead and take up the vacation one.
So Joe, I think you ought to take both of them the same day because we're
No.
not gonna have.
No, they're two
Uh,
separate. They're very separate
I know they're
issues.
separate, but we're not, the big one is street closure, the one on
And traffic
vacation.
calming.
Right, but the
Well,
one on
if-
vacation is cut and dry.
I know, but Fred, why don't we go ahead and take the vacations up and get it off the table, and then we can focus our full attention on the closings and
All
the
right.
traffic.
That's, yeah.
Let's do vacation then on the 8th.
May I was gonna say the 8th. Yeah.
Yes, the 8th.
All right.
Is that for
That's the com-
committee? Are
that's
you
for
talking
committee, right?
committee?
Yeah,
Committee,
well,
okay.
the question is, does vacations need to go back to committee, or can we just go ahead and put it on the agenda?
I think
Well-
we put it on the agenda.
Why
Well,
don't-
but
All
when-
he did
when
was.
Chris, well, when Chris gets the draft ready, why doesn't he send it around to us and let's
Right.
make sure there are no questions? But if there are some concerns, questions, that sort of thing, then we can send it to the committee.
Yeah.
Otherwise, let's just, put it on the agenda and get the vacation part taken care of.
I think that's
Why-
been, that's been
Oh, I see
sent
what you're
already
saying.
to
Okay.
everybody. I
Yeah.
believe it.
But he hadn't
All
gotten any of his final comments from the administration. So when he gets
Right.
that, he can disseminate the
Oh,
final
on
document.
vacation?
Right.
I thought it was the other one.
Let's
Okay.
go ahead
Yeah,
and schedule your
vacation.
meeting for September 8th, and we can take up the closings at that time, and hopefully vacations will be done, but if it isn't, then we can throw it in there too.
No, vacations is the one we're mandated through state law, and that's pretty clear cut. It's the closure and the other issue about traffic calming devices that's going to take longer.
Mr. Richardson, is this going to your committee?
Right.
Can you get us a date and time and inform us, please?
Okay, this is my third time.
Thank you.
September the 8th
At 2:00.
at 2:00.
All right.
And okay, and that's going to take up both segments then.
Right.
Okay, that's
Any other announcements? Mr. Mayor, members of the administration, any announcements on your side? All right, we'll see each other at 10:30.
Don't kill the stream.
It's an actual street.